Hello, it's GotAUkulele back with the reviews after a short break. As always, this is the summary video review. You'll get much more detail if you click the full written review below. This is just a short version. Also consider the Patreon. It does really keep this channel going. And why not subscribe to the GotAUkulele channel? Then you'll know what's coming next. Been looking forward to this one. This is a brand I featured before. Fairly new brand to me in the ukulele world. They're called Freshmen Guitars. UK company, probably best known for their guitars. Far Eastern made, but pretty decent quality for good prices. And then about a year or two ago, I think they sort of developed into the ukulele world. I featured a couple of them. It's fair to say they were more entry-level laminate instruments, cheaper, but I was really keen to have a look at this one. They got it when they got in touch and said they'd released a trio of more serious, higher-end instruments from all solid woods called the Milano Series. This is one of theirs, and it is the UKLMAPLEC concert. Quite the mouthful. But what that means is this is the maple and spruce solid wood version. It's a concert scale instrument. And you know what? It's really rather pretty. And there's quite a bit of pretty as we go through it as well. So, all solid tone woods, as I say, which is a step up for Freshmen. The top is AAA grade Engelmann spruce. I never really understand the grading of spruce, because spruce is spruce. Straight grains, very simple to look at. It's a nice couple of pieces of wood there on the top. It's pale, it's uniform, tight grained, no claw marks or knots. Quite like that. And then that is backed with a more contrasty and really beautiful flamed maple. I'm not doing this justice because I'm under fluorescent light, but in incandescent light, this is really 3D looking. A couple of pieces there on that slightly arched back, a couple of pieces on the sides as well with more of the flaming. It's really pretty. Flamed maple can often be very pale. I'm glad this is more of a sort of milky coffee colour because it provides nice contrast with that very pale spruce top. I think the combination is lovely. I think it's really, really attractive. As you can see, finished in a gloss finish, which I've been over with a fine-tooth comb. I can't find any flaws with, no bubbles, no pooling. There's a bit of polish overspray inside the back on the sound front through the sound hole, but it's not too bad. This is well put together. Decoration, you get this maple strip around the edge, top and back with a black purfling line, which is nice, and you get this abalone outline around the body and the sound hole. I'm not usually a fan of abalone, but I tend to find that when they've sort of thrown the kitchen sink at it and you've got abalone with pearl, with gold, with something else. To be fair, I think this kind of works with this finish on this, and it's not over the top. Quite like that. Like this body a lot. That back is stunning. Really, really lovely that. The bridge, very, very standard. Tie bar made of walnut with a bit of this maple strip in it for decor. It's very simple, fitted with a plastic compensated topped saddle. Not much more to say other than the fact it's got a bit of gloss and polish on it, which I don't like on bridges. I prefer them looking bare or just oiled. And there we are, looking inside, as I say, pretty neat and tidy. There is a bit of polish sort of made its way into the middle, but that's no biggie, no glue. The linings are notched and neat, the bracing is not overdone. But what I also can see there, lurking underneath the sound hole, and you probably saw down here, is this comes with an active pickup system, a Fishman. Freshmen know, all my readers know, I don't like active systems. Because I think they add unnecessary wiring and weight to the ukulele. This one's got a 9-volt battery down here. But on the plus side, what they didn't do with this one is have one of those absolutely awful control panels cut out to the side of the instrument that never quite fit and look ugly. The controls are inside here. Underneath the sound hole. I've got a Gibson acoustic guitar with that system in it, so it's not unusual, and it keeps it out of the way, but it is still adding more than I need to it. All you need is a passive pickup. That's all I'd want. At least it's out of the way. At least there's nothing ugly on the top here, so I'll give it something of a buy for that. Okay, moving on. The neck, they don't specify. I suspect it's mahogany or it's going to be akume. It's made of 3 pieces, and nicely the pieces are pretty well hidden. There's one up here and one down here, but you got to look for them. You also get this L inlay there, or is it a screen print on the heel cap for the Milano Series. I like little touches like that. It's a typically Far Eastern neck. It's round on the back profile. It's very average, 36mm at the nut for a concert, 28-29 G2A, so not massively narrow, but I'd like it a little bit wider, particularly with that rounder back, but it's what you'd expect from a Chinese factory. It's topped with a walnut fingerboard, which is so even and dark and pretty that you'd be forgiven for thinking it's ebony. That's also edge bound with black strips, which is great because it means no sharp fret edges and the frets are hidden, of which you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 to here, 15, 16, 17, 18. Very standard for a concert. So nicely dressed, they look nice, the fingerboard's in good condition. Fret markers face out at 5, 7, 10, dot at 15 and 17, no dot at the 12th, but what you get is the L again. Quite. There we are. Which way up is it? There's the L. And thankfully, side dots on the side as well. Good stuff. Up to the headstock, simple, faced with more of the flamed label as the Freshman logo inlaid in pearl. I really like that for its flat-topped simplicity. I think it looks really nice with the gloss and the flame. Like that a lot. Then really dreamy, really pleased to see these. They've pushed the boat out. These are gold-coloured open gears by Grover. These are as good as geared tuners get, and you have to have geared tuners on a slot head, obviously. They're very, very good. I like those a lot. Comes with Aquila strings. It also comes with this really, really nice hard case with a brown interior. I really like this case because the locks and the clasps are really good quality, and that handle is super, super comfortable. Nice for carrying long distances. That's very good. And the retail on these, and they're only just out, so that the street price as well, is about £299. It's a serious amount of money. Perhaps not so for an all solid wood instrument with this level of appointments, but a serious amount of money for a freshman. The sort of amount of money that makes you think about spending it, but probably on a par with the solid wood snails, on a par with the intermediate level solid wood Kala instruments, and a lot cheaper than something like Apollo with this level of appointments, and with the pickup, and with the case. So actually the price is not foxing me at all. I think it's probably a fair price, and that's what the review says. So all in all, it's well put together. I can't really find any flaws in it at all. There's a bit of that polish overspray, a couple of knots in the back wood that I didn't really mention, but there's such minor details. I would like the neck to be a bit wider, and I don't need the pickup, although makes it ready to go for recording, I guess. But it's still light. It's not overly heavy. It's nice and balanced as well, so the weight of that battery is not doing it any harm. So I shouldn't really complain. The voice is what this is about. It's got a very, very pretty, bright voice. It's always going to be bright with spruce and maple in the body. What it doesn't have, the sustain is actually not bad. But what you can't tell here, because I've got equalization and I'm running through a mixer and then YouTube are going to compress it as well, is that it's not the loudest ukulele out there for a solid wood instrument. It's not about punch, it's about the pretty. But that's a nice tone. Damaged the fingernail on my strumming finger, so that's subduing it a bit as well, but it is still a quiet instrument. I much prefer it. It's nice and jangly though and bouncy, isn't it? I mean, all the notes are really clear. It just doesn't really quite punch you in the face. However, fingerpicked is really been with me about a week. Yeah. But you know, I think it's there's something about it. I think it make a great recording instrument. I think it make a great performing instrument. Probably less so for sort of punching out as a street busker without amplification or in your club. Although saying that, you know, as I say, bear in mind my fingers are a bit wrecked from the day job. But I do think it's got a pretty tone. I think the price is about right. I love the look. The look of it is lovely. And it's nice to see something that is something of a step up for Freshmen. I think this is on a par with the solid Snails and the solid Carlas, things like that. I think if you got money that you're finding it a struggle to stretch to something like a Pono, and certainly you would not get a Pono with these appointments for this price, I think this is worth a look. Another thing to point out with Freshmen is they're being carried now by the specialist ukulele stores that I really trust. And that says something to me, because those stores don't carry things like Luna and Mahalo, because they get too many returns and they're not very good. But they do carry these. So they put their faith in them, and I think they like them. I love to play the other woods, but this one is nice. Bright, jangly, clear sounding. Wish it had a little bit more volume, but really not much to complain about. And for that reason, gets a very good score. Very good score, and comes with a recommendation. The Freshmen UKLMAPLEC, I think that's UK Milano Series Maple Concert ukulele with a pickup, 299 quid with the hard case. Pretty good deal, I think. Nice work, Freshmen. I like this. I like this a lot. I'm back next week. The review's coming, hopefully now back to weekly. And I hope you have a very good end to your weekend. And I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.